Hello, truth seekers, and welcome back to our channel, where we reveal the shocking truth behind the glamorous world of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our channel. We are back again with some absolute scorch for the saga that never ends, the dumpster fire royale that is Meghan Markle's perpetual quest to make everything about her, even at the expense of human decency. And this most recent disgusting episode? Oh, it's a doozy, folks. Before we delve into the chaotic waters of this revelation, hit subscribe if you haven't already and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss the explosive content we have in store. So, of course, I'm talking about the drama that happened this past weekend. That was until Prince Petulance per Malinger Air Slicker, Nacho Figueras, decided to use his IG feed as a billboard for hawking Meghan's sad little gritty rags to influencers and D-listers. And nothing too out of the ordinary there for a Montecito moderate, am I right? Except there was one tiny little detail, Nacho and his relentlessly thirsty boss seem to have overlooked entirely in their latest cringe hustle. That their little momtrepreneur jam session just so happened to align perfectly with the Chooping the Color celebrations. You know, that prestigious, iconic, annual event where the entire royal family comes together to honor the crown and its enduring legacy. It was the same ceremony graced this year by the radiant return of HRH, the Princess of Wales, her first major royal appearance since beginning her valiant cancer battle. Royal watchers and critics both are aghast and call it indecent that Meghan should indulge in such shameless self-promotion at such a severe royal event. Many have slammed Meghan and Nacho for their tone-deaf timing and called this scene their attempt to outshine a moment that should have been about honoring tradition and the monarchy's history. But this is just the latest in a string of explosive moves by the Duke and Duchess of Montecito, who continue to make headlines for all the wrong reasons, with many examples of outspokenness and flouting the apparent disregard of royal protocol. Be it from their explosive Oprah interview or stepping back from their royal duties, Harry and Meghan have constantly outdone themselves and broken what is regarded as acceptable behavior for the members of the royal family. Yet, despite being hounded by controversy and backlash at every turn, they remain defiant, unapologetically going down their path and refusing to toe the line for someone else's sake. Whether people love or loathe them, there is one thing for sure: the Harry and Meghan saga has many chapters left, and many turns and kinks in the tale are likely yet to come. The most recent royal event was a momentous occasion steeped in pomps and history. It should have been a moment of Catherine's hard-won triumph over adversity, a moment the public could share with her, viewing this unforgettable trooping spectacle and probably shed just one tiny tear for the princess's fighting spirit and everything she stands for in their hearts and minds. The way Meghan Markle behaved, it was as though she had a different set of priorities. To Meghan Markle, the day would have been seen as an opportunity for branding and self-promotion rather than tradition and duty. Rather than celebrate her own sister-in-law's achievements, Meghan takes the opportunity to highlight her interests, the very overpriced Trader's doggy treats. For someone with human empathy, it should have been a day that revered and respected the occasion. But Meghan seemed more intent on clout-chasing and taking attention away from others. Meghan wants her friend Nacho to promote her goods online during such an event just shows the tone-deaf nature of her behavior. While some are sure to rush in and insist it was all just a coincidence, or worse yet, that she is clueless, most will see this as an overt, purposeful effort to try and hog the day's headlines. As one disgusted person opined on social media, this will not be forgotten. In conclusion, the recent royal event by Meghan Markle has sparked controversy, with various people beginning to question where she indeed ranks her priorities. While some may view this as innocent self-promotion, others see it as so demeaning and selfish that it belittles the very nature of the occasion itself. Catherine is fighting cancer, and this isn't just some blunder in the area of public relations. Instead, it is a vile, calculated effort to upstage her that smells of opportunism and a lack of common decency. It is an evident example of a character flaw that extends far beyond the definition of being ambitious or desirous of fame. It betrays trust and the unwritten codes of respect and empathy that should act as governors of interaction between human beings. This attempt at usurpation on a different level is not peculiar but becomes a pattern of behavior that reveals a sense of deep-seated entitlement and narcissism. It is a conscious effort to co-opt good feelings and sympathies that would naturally accrue to someone under such a severe health challenge, and instead try to direct them to him. It is a selfish and inconsiderate act that shows complete disregard for the feelings and struggles of others. What made this behavior outrageous is the fact that it was done under the cloak of charity and compassion. Using a moment of real human suffering as a platform for self-aggrandizement is not shameless, it's morally repugnant. This is a cynical manipulation of public sentiment for personal gain and will expose the true nature of whoever had been masquerading behind the facade. In the annals of modern anti-Meghan commentary, few statements ring more accurate than the condemnation of this act as the lowest of the low. All this shows how deep people will go in pursuit of fame and fortune, which is a chilling reminder that integrity and compassion must form the cornerstone of how we relate to one another. As one commenter phrased it, this was not just some regrettable stumble but an elevation scheme in which he could make himself high only by tearing down another. This was a calculated move to exploit a moment of vulnerability to profit or gain, and it says volumes about the character of the person responsible. In conclusion, the act of attempted upstaging is not a PR disaster, it's a moral failure of the nth degree. It's a betrayal of trust, decency, proof that pride can upstage humility and remind us to experience life with a bit of empathy. It is a stark example of just how far some will go in pursuing fame and fortune and also stands as a perfect cautionary tale for us all. The very same feminist and humanist who could not even be bothered to denounce her own sugars for launching misogynistic hate campaigns against the princess as she valiantly fought for her life. So why would we be surprised when she sends her imbecile cabana boy out to hawk the latest Megxit merch right in the middle of one of the most sacrosanct ceremonies of the RF? Hoping against hope that just a few influencers might give her that last vestige of clout that she so wants to have. That is who Meghan is. A vain, selfish snake willing to append anything and demolish any goodwill in pursuing brand Meghan enrichment. That's where all the cringe-worthy, authentic mob moments on display in her social ads come from. A place of malice, not earnestness. She couldn't care less if her zany fans can relate to her goofy mom hijinks, baking up little batches of subartisanal junk to peddle. It's all a calculated front. A facade of down-home appeal tailored specifically to Laura, vulnerable mommy bloggers, into her latest pyramid scheme where even the slightest occasion with fame might translate to coin. And anyone insulting enough to call Nacho's tacky little content SVO at 2 a.m. on the trooping day, not upstaging Kate or disruptive, needs to have their internet privileges revoked immediately. You don't get to waltz in on someone else's major annual event like an unabashed clout burglar only to play dumb when people justifiably accuse you of having hijacked the proceedings. The problem with Meghan is not a question of vendettas or ego-driven antics. It reflects a much bigger issue, the nefarious leverage some famous individuals use their fame and influence for, throwing caution to the wind about the repercussions their actions will have on others. This, in fact, underlines the need for greater accountability and integrity in celebrity and influencer culture. In what can only be described as a remarkable display of self-absorption, Meghan continues to showcase behaviors that align all too well with the traits of malignant narcissism. All this, while she adorned a bright banana yellow outfit that was the complete contrast of the dull place, the Queen's Memorial, that she seemed to want to make sure that all attention was on her. Ironically, she even was attending the funeral of the matriarch from whose family she had chosen willingly to disengage. Meghan's actions always indicate an indelible will to self-promote with her use of context-free viral quotes and buzzwords, feeling like a tell for photographers to snap and sculpt her subsequent faux controversy. She appears incapable of going 48 hours without engineering some happening that would realign the world's focus on her in the tragic misunderstood persona. And now, for the second time, we see her thrust into the limelight, with allegations of bad faith and attack being heaped upon Harry's former party companion. The question the public has is, why would he let himself be used in an attack on a woman battling cancer? And one could hear the fury in the latest comment by one Pop-letic fan. The stench of betrayal hangs heavy, growing more putrid by the day. Yet the excruciatingly embarrassing truth remains, the whole time, Figueras kept grasping for that Marco driftwood even as he was pulled from one humiliating act to another, all in service of Meghan's malign grace. Once the dignified hallmark of polo opulence, Figueras has now been downgraded to little more than Her Highness's official towel boy, perpetually stuck in a vicious cycle of scheming his way back into two lives governed by such egregious levels of self-sabotage that even their most loyal allies have since jumped ship. Except for this utter and complete cringe lord, that is. What do you think? Leave your comments below and tell us what you think. Watch our YouTube channel for more astonishing stories and scandalous exposes. Do like, share, and subscribe to constantly be updated with the latest headlines from the world of the royal family. Thank you for watching. We are back momentarily with even more spellbinding news concerning the royal family. Until then, goodbye.